a question and answer format. On Wednesdays, I'm here at Facebook Live, hanging out with you, doing psychic readings and mediumship. What's that? Who knows? I am a psychic. I'm an intuitive counselor. I'm a medium, and this is a great place to get a reading. You can ask any question that you would like. I'd love to answer your questions for you, and I'd also love to connect to your loved ones. Hi, Nancy. And so please feel free to ask anything that you'd like at all. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful Wednesday. Welcome. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Nancy. Good. Hi, Tammy. How are you? Hi, Bobby. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Erica. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Sonia. Good. Here, let me see here. Let's see. Let me see here. Hi. Oh, hi, Meredith. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Lynn. Good. Welcome. How's everybody doing today? Good. Good. Thank you, Lori, for sharing, and thank you for moderating as well. I appreciate you. How's everybody doing? I'm going to be using the Voyager Tarot tonight. And so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Dina. Good. And if you have a share button, please feel free to share this live. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you did. And this is going to be, what do I even have in here? This is our mug tonight. It's just black coffee, I think. It's been a minute. It says I made this many, many hours ago. Let's see how it's going. Aw, thank you, Bobby, for sharing. Aw. What's my favorite deck? I like the, if we're looking at, Patricia, if I'm looking at Oracle decks, Wisdom of the Oracle deck is probably on the top of my list. If I'm looking at a tarot deck, it's, oh geez, my brain is going blank. I'm going to remember in a second. But it's basically a basic tarot deck. Except it is a brain has shut down. I'll tell you in a minute. It's gonna come to me. But it's a basic tarot deck, except all the pictures are really bright and big, so that's why I love it. That's it. That's the only reason. But it's all tarot. There is like oracle-y tarot decks. Morgan Greer Tarot, Patricia. Morgan Greer Tarot. I really like that deck, just because there's some big bright pictures. I'm a pretty simple person. Hi, Penny. Hi, Erica. Hi, Carmen. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, good. Well, good. Well, while you guys are showing up, if there's a share button, please feel free to share. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you did. While you're showing up and while you're doing all of that stuff, I will also share. I have a kind of a funny story that happened the other day. I have I do lots of readings every day with people one-on-one, and a lot of those readings are sometimes with people outside the country, sometimes on Zoom, sometimes on on WhatsApp, sometimes on my phone. Sometimes it's all over the place, right? Facebook Messenger calling and Skype and yeah, just all the places. And I was on a Zoom. I was in a Zoom reading the other day. I think it was on. It was this Saturday. I think it was on Saturday. And I have this chair that. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Anne, for sharing. I have this chair that is like an exercise ball. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's just like a big ball that sits in like a chair form, but it's a big old ball that is an exercise ball. And so I have this chair and I'm talking to this person and I'm just in the reading, just doing, when I'm, being intuitive, my brain is 1,000 miles away. I'm just focused in on the person and what's going on there for them. And I heard like, right? And then the chair started to, the air started to come out of it. And slowly, just like you're seeing me here, slowly I just started like sinking down and sinking down. So until I was just like out of sight. This chair just exploded underneath me. I've had it forever. And it's just like, and it just kept sinking. And I'm like, and I'm just doing a reading and just sinking lower and lower. Until I was like, well, I think I'm going to need to move to a different chair in order for us to keep doing this. So I thought that was super funny. The funny part was I tried to play it off like nothing was happening because I was busy, you know, being in the middle of a reading, and the reading is all the time. Aw, thank you, artistic mom, for this gift. I appreciate you. And so I'm always like fully present and all in a reading, and I was like, this isn't happening, and I just like disassociated from the fact that I was just sinking until until you just couldn't see my face at all. I was like this, talking to this poor person. And I was like, you know what, this is probably isn't working, give me a second. I had to find a new chair, so I did. I'm sitting in it now. It's not bouncy. And I, you know, this thing lasted me a really long time. So I'm very surprised that it lived as long as it did. But that's my funny story for the week. Yes, good. Good. Well, I hope you're having a good week. And thank you so much for being here. And please feel free to ask any questions you like. If it's your first time here, I'm a very blunt and straightforward psychic. I've been an intuitive and a psychic and a medium since I was professionally since I was 19. So that was a billion years ago. What am I, 47 or 48 now? And so, this is a great place to get a free reading. And so if you have any messages, any questions, please feel free to ask any loved ones that you want to connect to. I'm blunt and straightforward in my personal readings, but here I dance a little bit. Thank you for being here, Dina. I dance a little bit because, you know, I want this to be a safe environment where you can ask any question, and I'm not going to put your business out in public. And so there's a little bit of dancing so that I'm keeping your, you know, your private stuff private. And so, but in a private reading, we just go for it. And so, yeah, so please feel safe to ask. Yeah, to ask anything that you'd like. And thank you so much for being here. I'm going to get started again. I'm going to be using the Voyager Tarot, which I really enjoy as well. I like this tarot because it's like it's like collages, and I like a lot of pictures and kind of chaos in my cards sometimes. And so it's just a lot of, it's just so many things, you know, so many things are happening. And so sometimes it's nice to have ones with lots of pictures that jog your intuition. And so if you want one of those, the Voyager deck is for you, for sure. Yes. Good. Good. Okay, good. So I'm going to start in the middle, and thank you again so much for being here and hanging out with me. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't already. And let me see here. Hello. Okay. I don't know if I said it or not, but I pick every 25th person starting in the middle. And then at the end, I'm going to pull a card for everybody here. So stick around for that. All right, right in the middle. Right in the middle is Allie. Hi, Allie. Allie says, hey, Candice, I've been having doubts with my relationship. Should I stay or leave my relationship? Hit the heart button if you're unsure if you should stay or leave your relationship. Yeah. And so Allie wants to know, she's having doubts about her relationship, and she wants to know if she should stay or leave. Okay, well, let me pull a card for you. Thank you so much for asking your question. Okay. All right. So it's a 9 of crystals. So let's see here. 9 of crystals. This is narrowness. This is a card of narrowness. When it comes to nines, is traditionally a really good card in the deck. And so in a tarot deck or oracle deck, I would say that this card, the 9 of crystals, is probably the least great 9 card, even though 9 cards are so wonderful in a deck. And so what I would say around the relationship is you having doubts. You're right. You're right. The thing that, without saying your business in public, how do we dance? So, in my understanding and seeing of your relationship, the things that you are feeling doubt around and you are feeling weary around, you are correct. And in the past and in past relationships, you have not trusted yourself and stuck around in things too long and felt like you weren't honoring yourself in a situation. A lot of times, especially when it's somebody that we really want to have in our life, we hold out with hope, and then sometimes that person ends up being disappointing, and we just kind of keep giving them excuses on why we want to stay with them. What I would say around your situation is that your doubts make sense, and I think that I would give it the next few months and express yourself around your doubts. You're the 9 of crystals in this relationship. So there's things that are unsaid, and the person is being less and less of the thing that you're looking for with a person. And sometimes when you're in a relationship, people show up really great for the first couple months or a couple years even, and then there's some shifts and changes, and sometimes we can grow out of each other as well. In your situation, the person is pulling away or making some changes that feel uncomfortable, and your doubts around it make sense. I would give it the next 3 months just because there's opportunity for the other person to change. I mean, they don't want this relationship to be over, and there's opportunity for you two to feel like that you're closer. As of now, it feels very much like it's two people going in two different directions. Yes. Okay, good. And the most important thing, Allie, is the thing that you are worried about, and the thing that because you're having the doubts about, you're right about that. You're right about that. But you're doubting. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Oh, thank you so much for asking your question. Okay. All right. Let me get to the next person. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. And thank you so much for being here. And if you would like to get if you'd like to get a private reading with me, you'd go to travelingintuitive.com to book a session. I'd love to have a reading with you. Yes. Good. All right. Let's see. Okay, 25. 25 is Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Sonia says hello. Hi, Sonia. She says, will my family home sell? Okay, perfect. You're the 25th person. I'm going to pull a card for you. Thank you so much for being here. She wants to know, will my family home sell? Okay, all right, perfect. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, the Two of Crystals. This is our second crystals card. The Two of Crystals. So when it comes to selling the family home, yes, it does show up as there is some complications and entitlement and different things like that around the family home stuff and around all the things that have to do with that. It does feel like it's complicated, and the kind of splitting up and figuring out the pieces of the puzzle of the family home shows up as being a drawn out scenario. But the selling of the home shows up as quicker. And so, yes, you show up as not having a problem, your family not having a problem with selling it. But there's something around the receiving the income from it, or the receiving part, that feels like there's a stall in it. At the end of the day, it works out just fine. It just shows up as you're going to find that here in May, you don't have the home anymore, or the home has been bought and closed on in a different direction, and it feels like it's at a number that you want, or that would make you happy. And so feels positive. It just has these stalls in it when it comes to the receiving of money, or the delegating of money, if that makes sense. Yes. Good question. Thank you so much for asking your question. Okay, I'm going to get to the next person. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you so much for being here. Okay. Barbara LeBou, your parents are definitely loud and clear tonight. And they really, they love you very much. Yes. It says, your mom, she says it's time to make some changes in your house, or make some shifts in your house. She's, yes. She says that you can afford it, like you can put the money into it. You'll be, like, invest in it, or invest in your house. She wants you to feel more comfortable in your space. Yeah, sometimes she didn't feel comfortable in her space, and she doesn't want you to have that experience. Yes. Okay, good. Thank you, Sherry. Okay. Oh, good, Allie. I'm so glad. Okay, 25. 25 is Ty Lisa. So Ty and the next word Lissa. How are you? She says, am I on the right path with work? I feel like I'm being spiritually attacked. Oh, good one. Hit the heart button if you've ever felt that experience. Spiritually attacked. So that means a lot of things to a lot of different people. I'm going to pull a card for you. Thank you for asking that question. She says, I feel spiritually attacked. Am I on the right path with work? I feel like I'm being spiritually attacked. Okay. I have a understanding of what that means to you. So let's pull a card for you. And thank you so much for asking your question. Okay. Okay. So Woman of Cups. So when it comes to your question, let's start with the first part. Am I on the right path with work? And so this is a job that you have long-term. It doesn't show up as necessarily a passion, but it does show up as something that you stick with, that you show up as having for a long time or long term. It does show up as something that you get more and more comfortable with. In the question of, am I being spiritually attacked? So there's different versions of that. I think that oftentimes when things are going really poorly, or we're feeling very low in a space, or you're feeling like we have worries about, other people and how they're expressing negativity toward us, we can say things like spiritually attacked. What I would say, You do have a couple of people at your job that aren't in your, they don't love you, that aren't the biggest fan of you, and that don't wish you the best. And so your job in those scenarios, is it a spiritual attack? No. I think that you are very empathic and very susceptible to other people's energy, and sometimes people drain you, and you have anxiety around social anxiety when it comes to people, and so it's amplified if you feel like you're not liked in a scenario. There has been these ups and downs inside your job and inside your life in general, and so it makes sense that you're feeling that way. You have a couple people at your job that aren't like team you, but it doesn't show up as there's any sort of attacking that's happening. And so what I would do is a couple of things. One is a harder thing, which is to not give a F what people think. And because it does feel like that regardless of the people around you, um, none of them have any effect on your job, on your life, on anything besides causing you to feel anxious about it. And so they don't matter. They don't matter, right? That's number one. And, number two is around understanding how powerful and strong you are. And so you're not an energetic wimp. You there isn't a lot that is going to be able to come towards you in a negative way unless you're opening up the door for it, which you're not doing that. And so I would say that in this situation, I would have a better understanding over time about how powerful you are and how people can't really screw you over in that way because you have a strong foundation in yourself, and that the people that are being weirdos in your environment, they don't matter. And I think that especially one person that just feels like that there's a thing, and you just want to just work on exercise, use it as schooling to care as little as possible because they don't matter when it comes to you, except that they're making you feel all of these things that make you uncomfortable in your environment. And that needs to come to an end because they don't need that much energy, and they don't deserve that much energy in your life. So that's what I'd be up to with them. They don't show up as important ultimately. Yes, good. And you're safe and you're healthy. And the hardship that you're feeling, like that negative feeling, does show up as something that passes. Yes. Good. Good. Well, thank you so much for asking your question. Okay, I'm going to get to the next person. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'm picking every 25th person. And thank you for being here. And at the end, I'm going to pull a card for everybody here. So stick around for that. And and if you would like to get a reading with me, you go to travelingintuitive.com to book a session. I'd love to have a reading with you. Yes, I have it in the link is in my the description of this live. Yes. Good, let's see here. Oh, hello. Okay. Okay, 25 is Linda Henderson. Hi, Linda Henderson. Linda Henderson says, any messages for me tonight? Okay, let me pull a card for you. You're the 25th person. And thank you so much for asking your question. Okay, Linda Henderson. Any messages for me tonight? Okay. Let's see. Okay, so illumination. So this is the Ace of Wands. When looking at this card, Ace is the beginning, so the starting point. The Ace of Wands is the beginning of a personal journey. Most of the time, it's a journey of feeling healthier, both in our bodies, mental health, spiritual health. And this is the card of the beginning of you feeling healthy long term. And so I think that the main health ingredient for you has been feeling, ups and downs when it comes to the mental health part, and because there's just been a whole lot of stuff that's happened in your life that is exponentially hard. And so it's been this one thing after another, and it feels lonely, and it feels difficult, and it feels like, how can I start over? And it feels like, what am I even doing, or why am I even, what's the purpose, right? And sometimes we get to a point in our life where we're like, what am I even doing? Like, what? Like, I've lost some people that are important to me. I have certain things going on with myself personally, like all of these different things wound up into this place of feeling really scared, and feeling like, what's the reason and what's the purpose? And so for you, the Ace of Wands or illumination is telling you that we're at the beginning stage of starting over. And so in that starting over, it's a journey. It's a journey. And there's a huge part of you that feels like, I don't even know how that would begin. But your guidance in your life is really strong around this year being a year where things are lifted off of you. So it keeps taking off weights off of your body and off of your mental health, off of your spirit, just lifting weights off of you. And there's just been some really hard losses that have knocked you out, when it comes to how you feel. And there's been some, hard moments when it comes to health, and hard moments when it comes to every category. And at some point, we're just, we often are just like, I can't, what am I doing? Like, what is this? What is this life? What am I up to? And so, for you, you're making wonderful decisions moving forward. And you show up as be given, like, there's like a rush of guidance that is in your life that's unusually more than usual, trying to help heal, especially your heart and how you feel inside. And there's a lifting of depression, a lifting that feels like it happens. And so over these next couple months, you'll start to feel lighter around those things. But it's been heavy for so long that it's going to feel like uncomfortable to feel light. You know what I mean? And so just be easy with yourself, be gentle with yourself as you walk through this year. But the positives definitely outweigh the negatives this year, and definitely feels like you're healing through a lot of things instead of it feeling like there's more things stacking on top of you. Yes. Good. Good. Well, thank you so much for asking your question. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to get to the next person. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And thank you so much for being here. Old coffee. Nothing better. Let's see here. Hello. Okay. Okay, 25. Hi, is Jen A. Hi, Jen A. Jen A says, what can I do to shift this depression? I'm feeling stuck. Thank you. Let's send lots of hearts and loves to Linda and to Jen A. And anybody who's going through depression. Lots of hearts, lots of love. What can I do to shift this depression? I'm feeling stuck, she says. Okay. And so let me see. Thank you so much for asking your question. I'm going to pull a card for you. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Two of Wands. Purity. And so the depression part, the feeling stuck in the depression part is when I'm connecting to your guidance, and the Two of Wands is a suggestion around loneliness, right? And so it feels like you're managing all these things alone. Hit the heart button if you feel alone as well. And so the depression part feels like I have nobody, or I have nothing. I have a loneliness, and even when I'm in a room full of people, I feel like I'm by myself, and I feel alone in my feelings and not seen. And it's been a while of that. And so it feels like the feeling is maybe I'm never going to be seen. Maybe the work that I'm doing in my life is not going to be seen. Maybe the opportunities to enjoy people in a way where they can see me too is not going to be there. It's as if you're coming to a place, because it's been a while since you didn't feel alone, even when you're in a room full of people, that you're afraid that you're just going to do this all alone forever. And that's not true. You do show up as this year, adding lots of people into your life that feel like they're there on purpose, and they're, filling up your life with love and joy. You also show up as, feeling like, yes, we have depression, and maybe we have depression for the first half of this year, but into the second half, it feels like that there's a shift in how you make money. There's a shift in whom you allow close to you. There's a shift. Enough things happen, circumstantial things happen in your life where the depression lifts on its own. And so I think it takes until then, because everything is like one bite at a time when it comes to the positive things coming into your life this year. But at the end of the year, you really feel like you have the whole puzzle. The depression thing, the depression experience, not thing, experience that you're having shows up as really just for right now and temporary. Yes. Good. Good. Well, thank you so much for asking your question, and I'm sending you lots of love. Depression is really difficult, and no one lives inside of you, so nobody can feel how you feel, So it's something that is a lonely walk. And so I'm sending you love. Yes. Okay. All right. And thank you for sending her lots of love. And thank you, Nancy, for the gift. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to get to the next person. I'm going to get to two more people in the comments, and then I'm going to pull a card for everybody here. So stick around for that, and thank you so much for being here. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. It says here that was your 10th gift to me, so thank you. You're amazing. Okay. So, hello. Okay, 25. 25 is BB. Hey, BB. BB says, you're the 25th person, BB. And BB says, are upcoming changes permanent? Okay. All right. I know what you're talking about. All right. So let me pull a card for you. Thank you so much for asking your question. Are upcoming changes permanent? Question mark. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay. All right. So, the Woman of Crystals. I think that you're talking about two different areas of life. One is personal. So that would be something that's just for you in your life. And the other is around yeah, so one is personal and the other one is around the world. And so, BB, the ones that are personal, it does show up as permanent. It does show up as, without saying your business in public, shows up as permanent. Both show up as permanent. And so, and I think that the one for your life feels like it's, something that you're rooting for it to be permanent for you. I think that when it comes to the one that is externally outside of you, it feels like you have worrisome around it. I think that when I'm looking at you this year, the decisions that are made and the changes that happen in the permanency of both the outside and the inside of the things that are around your life show up as being positive for you personally. And so I think that it does show up as, even though, there is some ups and downs to the situation, without saying your business in public, about your personal stuff being permanent, it does show up as working out in your favor and you feeling really happy around it. So I think you're making great decisions there, and it does show up as staying exactly the same, which, there's some weariness around it staying exactly the same. But it does feel like that even though it's weary, you feel like that you are really happy with the outcome. So both situations feel like they're positive for your life, even though one of the situations, the outside of your life part, you would like to be different. Yes. God, oh, thank you so much for asking your question. Thank you, Artistic Mom. You said you sent me, this is your 10th gift to me as well. Thank you. It says on there, you're so amazing, and I'm so happy to have you in my life. I'm so happy to have you in my life. Thank you so much for saying that and sending that to me. I appreciate you. Okay, good. All right. And so, okay, I'm going to get to one more person in the comments. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. I'm still trying to figure out the whole world of that, but I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Suzanne, for the gift. You're welcome, BB. Okay, all right. I'm going to get to one more person. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'm going to pull a card for everybody here. So, I look forward to talking to your daughter, Suzanne. And you're wonderful. Yes, okay, let's see here. Okay, 25 is Mary Riesling. Hi, Mary Riesling. Mary Riesling says, I'm worried about my daughter. She's not doing well. Okay, let's send lots of love to Mary's daughter. She says, I'm worried about my daughter. She isn't doing well. Okay, lots of hearts and lots of love to her. Let me see here. Thank you for asking your question. Let's see. All right. So, Seven of Wands. Courage. This is the card of courage. Perfect card for this situation. So, it's true. Your daughter isn't having the best time. And feels like having a hard time. Sometimes we have circumstances in our life that make us feel reclusive, make us feel like we're having hard health, make us feel like we're not seen and loved when it comes to people around us. There's a menagerie of all those things for your daughter. She does show up as have battled this in and out of her life, and you have as well in certain ways. You two have a lot in common when it comes to how you feel. I think that for her, you show up as being a great support system. And even though she is having kind of a sinking moment, or a feeling like she's not feeling her very best in her life moment, it doesn't show up as being the case for her long term. Right now, we're really kind of closed up and reclusive and feeling alone and feeling like we're kind of isolating and feeling like we're having a hard time trusting people and all sorts of different things, feeling like we have some different pains in our body. And you're going to be a great support for her. I think that the main part for both of you is that there's less and less of that all over body pain that you both experience. And I think that can be wearing. People who have body pain and different pains in their body, it's just emotionally wearing, and it feels like there's some debilitation there in the past. And so for your daughter, definitely you're going to keep supporting her and showing up for her perfectly. And I think that we're going to be able to come around the corner to the pain and the isolating part that we're experiencing here in April, because we feel like we have some more freedom in our life. I think that, there's these worries in kind of every department when it comes to finances, and there's a lack of relationships, there's a lack of closeness there. But when I'm looking at the experience, in past April, we're not having any of those experiences. And so it feels like it's just for right now. Yes. Her guidance, your daughter's guidance, you two have the same kind of guidance. Very just um, kind of the opposite of what you would think. Just very like bright, lighty, whimsical, very childlike, very soft. Both of you are edgy. Both of you have an edge to you, and both of you have had some harder stuff in life. And so it feels like that it would be natural to have like more edgy guidance, but your guidance in your life is real fluffy, like a cloud. I think it's bringing like a balance to your life for sure. And just loves you. And this has been, a tough go of it when it comes to the different aspects, and a lot of different aspects. But with your daughter, she really comes out the other end of it here and feels just more secure in her life and feels safer in her life here after April. Yes. Good. Well, thank you so much for asking your question. And thank you, everybody, for asking your questions. And I'm here on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time doing psychic readings and mediumship. Thank you, everybody who gave me gifts. I appreciate you. I hope I saw them all. And let me see, is there a way I can... Let's see. I still don't know how to do that part, but I'm getting there. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. And If you want to get a private reading with me, you go to travelingintuitive.com to book a session. I'd love to have a reading with you. I have 30-minute and 1-hour openings, and during a reading, it's a mediumship and me being an intuitive and a psychic. And so sometimes it's whatever, the person wants, obviously, but most of the time it's a mixture of all the above. And so if sometimes people come with questions, sometimes you don't, sometimes people want to connect to their loved ones, sometimes they don't. And a lot of my clients I've had for 25 years, so for a really long time. And so I'd love to have a reading with you. And so it's travelingintuitive.com. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd love it if you did. And thank you for being here. I'm going to pull a card for everybody here. And I'm hoping you're having a good Wednesday. I'm hoping you're having some fun in your life. Or some ease. Or some, let's see, what was today do you know what a sourdough starter is? It's like the bacteria that you make, that like is like a little bit of like sourdough. It's fun. It's really, I almost cursed. It's really hard to explain, but it's just like, it's basically flour and water that turns into like a weird germ that's the same as like yeast over time. So it's a sourdough starter. So that's how you make sourdough bread, right? So I've been like nursing this sourdough starter for a week, which is a whole process that is annoying. And I asked my 2-year-old what we should name it, and she decided on Boom Shakalaka, and so it's called Boom Shakalaka. And and then we turned on it was like a techno song that just kept saying Boom Shakalaka over and over again. And we just danced around and sang Boom Shakalaka. Where I'm gonna go for 25 minutes. It was literally just a song that's like and then in the background it's like Boom Shakalaka. She's just on fire. So just in case you were wondering, my sourdough starter is called Boom Shakalaka. So there you go. So I'm gonna pull a card for you. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. And this card, if you were here, this card is for you. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Lovers. Hit the heart button if you're in love. If you're in a relationship that kind of looks like these two sillies right here, just like 2 blocks of chunky clay smashed into each other. This feels intimate and connected. You feel safe in a relationship. Hit the heart button if you feel safe in a relationship. If you feel like you're seen and loved and you feel nurtured and the person communicates well. I think the big breakdown when it comes to relationships and having a relationship that looks like this is oftentimes communication. And so we don't necessarily like to be honest with one another. We start to form in different directions that, normally we have some resentment for our partners. It's hard to like feel like you can keep your heart open often. We get very comfortable with our one person. And that's kind of our person that we can be the biggest jerk to or have the hardest day and just unload it on a person. And so we want to pay attention to that this week. Right now in your life, you might be having a lot of stress and there might be a lot of things that you're feeling overwhelmed about. And it's very easy to, stop being these 2 lumps of clay, especially over time. Like intimacy or connection like this feels like it's less and less and less sometimes, you know? It's hard to maintain, and sometimes we just become friends and we stop being like two little chunky clay blocks smashed together. And so if this isn't you anymore, but you want it to be, it's really just about, I think that we forget to express and be honest and communicate and share. And so this week, working on that, paying attention to if you do unload your hardest moments on your partner, if you are lashing out, if you are feeling overwhelmed and that's the target person, if that's happening to you, are you communicating how much you don't like it that the other person is doing it? You know, I think that over time we can wear each other out, and then we can go in two different directions and, you know, decide not to choose each other ultimately as well. And so this week, pay attention to where your relationships are at. Not just your romantic relationships, but people who are the closest people to you. Are you being a jerk? You know, and and is someone being a jerk to you? And it's easy to get into that mode because we often don't have a lot of outlets. And so that's our safe person to be our outlet. I think it's the same thing as most of the time, like our mom. Like, you know, that lady's going to love you forever, probably. And so you could just kind of be like, I don't care, mom, you know, and slam the door. And she's still going to make you like macaroni and cheese and buy you your jeans, you know. So you know that she's gonna, you know, take care of you. I think that we can get in that same mindset with a partner and with friendships too. And so pay attention to how you're communicating this week, and how you're communicating, and that how people are communicating with you, and see if you're being, you know, your most honest self. I think sometimes in order to get back to that, you know, lover's place or that love place, it's around being honest. And we're changing all the time, if we like it or not. And sometimes we've got to figure out how to change together again, because oftentimes we change away from each other. And when you are changing in your life, you need to like give your partner a heads up. And so that you can say, hey, like, I'm changing, and they can like come along for the ride instead of feeling surprised about the new relationship that they're in that they didn't sign up for. And so just being open and honest as we continue forward is really helpful, when it comes to allowing people to love us. It's hard to do sometimes, but how rewarding it is to be with somebody who loves like the honest version of yourself. I don't know if there's anything better than that. And so make sure that that's what you're being. And if you're not, pay attention to why. Yes. Good. Well, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. And I can't wait to see you on Wednesday here next week at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to. And you are everything you are looking for. And I can't wait to talk to you again soon and see you here. Okay. All right. Bye.